Welcome to Anarchy, the most cruel and brutal Minecraft experience there is. Little to no rules depending on the server, crazed players, and insane challenges. This first episode will just be a kind of introduction to the series, just figuring stuff out and whatnot. Enjoy. I started off on the server and I found a bot that everybody in the chat hated. I decided that I would go and kill him just to make a name for myself. At first I couldn't find a way to him, but eventually I just started climbing up the water and found a path to him. I'm lucky I didn't have to break any cobblestone because that would take up a lot of time. Okay, yeah, I had to end up breaking one block of cobblestone, but since it was a bot, he definitely wasn't going anywhere. So I was kind of in luck there. I wanted to be careful around the bot just to make sure there wasn't an actual player controlling it. I was wrong about the player controlling it theory, and it was extremely easy to get him, but he kept auto-moving around into impossible positions, so yeah, it was kind of difficult, a little bit. I eventually killed him and got his head, which is a surprise to me because I didn't think the server would actually do that. I spread it around to the chat, but they really didn't seem to care. I moved out of one of the holes in a water area, and I realized that the spawn walls went up to the build limit, so if I could build up there and get enough resources, I might be able to get up there. But the problem is, it's kind of a barren wasteland, so I just had to resort to climbing up the waterfall. I reached the top and it was quite the view, but I didn't exactly see where I was going to go from here. Like, there was clearly too many walls to go climb them all. So I just ended up looking around for walls. I decided it might be a good idea to jump off and see if there was like any escape from the spawn. My hack client, which is essential in Anarchy servers, was used several times in this video, so no, it's not against the rules. It's an Anarchy server. So anyway, yes, I was trying to find an escape to the spawn when I came across this like nether fortress tower thing, and I decided to explore it to see if it had any good loot in it. Unsurprisingly, there was already a hole in the roof, and there was dirt blocks and obsidian in there, meaning there was absolutely nothing in there. I saw a little opening to the outside world, and I decided to follow that path, as it may lead me out to spawn. Instead, I was greeted by more large walls, and I found a few resources along the way. But those really weren't much of a help. It eventually started to rain, which made my game lag a little bit. I wasn't too pleased about that. I saw that the walls went down a little, so I used this as an opportunity to get out of here. I made it to the top and I realized that I saw clouds, which meant I was getting closer and closer to the build limit. I found a bridge that crosses the two kind of barriers there. Crossing those barriers was completely useless because all I got was 4 sand out of it, so yeah, I eventually headed the other way and started to climb up to see if I could get on one of those dirt paths that would lead me outside of spawn. I ended up dying to lava and I fell down here. I didn't really know what this area was, so I just decided to kind of explore it around. At first I thought I was outside of spawn because I saw the grass and dirt and cobblestone, and better yet, water, but I realized that I actually wasn't. I saw a few chests, but they were most likely guarded with obsidian and other heavy materials that would take way too long to break. I decided I'd follow a path to try to get out. The path just led back to the spawn. It was like I was stuck. Until I actually found my way out to spawn. You can tell from the ruins that the spawn was once a place with lots of people, life, but now it just kind of turned into a barren wasteland. Just like the spawn. I guess I should have expected that from an Anarchy server. I noticed that they were expanding the walls too, so it's good that I got out at the time that I did. Otherwise I would have had to go through more of that wall madness. I then found an opening into what I call the deep spawn. I call it the deep spawn because it is technically still the spawn, but it's deeper out into the overworld. This path is obviously used quite frequently, judging by the griefing that has been done to it. There is lava flowing out of the holes in the wall, so I had to avoid that and be a little careful. My game started lagging a little bit here. Not too bad though. You see, the deep spawn is very lava filled and a mess, so I'm glad this tunnel was there. Thank God. I was finally out of every single bit of spawn there was. At this moment, I was practically thanking God, and I was really happy because before I started recording, I spent quite a while trying to escape spawn. I noticed that my hunger was low and I needed food, so I looked around for any mobs because it was raining. Here I found unfinished nether portals, finished nether portals, and destroyed base ruins that had already been raided. Back in my hunt for food, I was extremely desperate. I noticed that there was some farmland, but there was no crops or seeds around. As soon as I heard that zombie growl, I knew this was going to be my first fight on the server, besides the bot. I needed the rotten flesh badly, so I decided to punch the zombie to death with my bare hands. This is a long, time-consuming process. I was not willing to fight the other zombie that joined in, so I was just going to take my rotten flesh and leave. I was so desperate for food that I tried breaking the seaweed to see if it gave me wheat seeds. I was extremely wrong about that, and that made me extremely sad, but I guess, I don't know, just how it is. I continued traveling along, knowing my time was running out, and that I probably wasn't going to survive this spawn escape. Of course, like everyone else who has ever tried escaping spawn before, I died. It looked like I was back at another area in the deep spawn. I continued wandering forward, hoping for another quick spawn exit. I was getting really fed up of having to try to escape spawn. Found more farmland. No use, no seeds, no nothing. I was stuck and starving. This is complete agony. After climbing up hills and going like a long way, I thought I saw a name tag. So I went up the hill. I realized this is gonna be my first real player-on-player combat. I suited up and I got ready to attack. And it turned out the player was AFK, so it literally didn't matter at all what I did, so yeah, that was just kind of a waste of time. Then I saw an actually moving player. Maybe this would be my actual first player-on-player combat. I suited up and yep. And just like that, he was slain and I obtained his head. I didn't really know what I could do with the head, so I just decided to save it. I was desperate for another way out, and I realized that I couldn't take on that player because he had already killed somebody and he had more hearts than me. So I just went into the nether portal. I also got kicked 2 times for speed hacks because I was literally starving to death, so yeah. I decided there was no use in trying to find a fortress because I was gonna die, so I just ended it quicker. I spawned in this same area I was at the beginning, and I was really sick and tired of having to escape spawn. I was like literally trapped into absolutely nothing. This is absolutely awful. I climbed up waterfalls, but I didn't know where they would lead me to. I eventually got on what I call the spawn barrier. It's the barrier on top of the wall in spawn. I climbed up the spawn barrier just to see if there was like any way I could get out of here, because I didn't want to jump down there because then I'd just go into the deep spawn, which really wouldn't be very good for me. So I decided to trust one of the dirt or cobble paths. I eventually gave up on climbing the spawn barrier and instead jumped down to go into a nether portal. Maybe the nether portal would lead me away from spawn. Upon entering this nether portal, I realized that I wasn't in the spawn nether. I was really deep into the nether. I call this area the deep nether. the deep nether became my deathbed. At least I know what to expect when I try to survive in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.